Hi guys, Remy here, and today I am back with another haul. It's been a while since I last made a video or last made a record haul video because I've been in quarantine a couple of times due to just I've had to travel and stuff, and also I've been waiting for records to arrive, so it's taken a while, but I'm finally happy that most of my records have come and I'm really excited to show you guys. Starting off with Cloud 9 by George Harrison. Now can I just say that this album cover is so hideous but amazing and iconic at the same time. It's like your typical 80s dad and I am here for it. It's just, I just find it hilarious. Like I really hope there's an opportunity one day where I could just go dressed up as George from the Cloud 9 album cover. Anyway, I got this album with my birthday money because it was my 21st recently, and yeah, I honestly think that George sounds his best vocally in this album. Like, his vocals are really strong, really bold, they sound really healthy here, and he belts a lot on this album. His voice is just so bold here that it just sounds so good. I wish there were more songs or more records where George's voice is like this, because he just really goes for it here. It's definitely his best vocal performance. This, along with All Things Must Pass, in my opinion. Track wise, I love That's What It Takes. The little pre-chorus is just the way that the song completely shifts tone. It sounds so beautiful and I really love it. This is Love is probably my favourite track because the harmonies are just just gorgeous and beautiful, and it just sounds really romantic and really cute. And When We Was Fab is a lovely tribute to the good old Beatle days, so that's really nice. I've only listened to this album a couple of times, so I need to familiarise myself with the rest of the tracks. Obviously I know I got my mindset on You, that song is iconic, but yeah, I just need to familiarise myself with this album a bit more, but it is very enjoyable from when I last listened to it. Up next we have Future Nostalgia by Dua Lipa. I knew roughly of the singles for this album, like Don't Start Now and Don't Break My Heart, but honestly when I started listening to tracks like Hallucinate and Levitate and Future Nostalgia, I just fell in love. This album is perfect because it sounds really futuristic, however it's got those influences from the 80s and 90s and early 2000s that make it nostalgic, hence Future Nostalgia. Like, it just sounds so good. Like, she's really incorporated all these sounds from all these different times and made it into this great album that just makes you want to dance, really. It's a really good album, and for your second album to take a direction that's quite risky, I'd say it's pretty bold of her to do this, because you know, this isn't just like an average radio friendly pop record. Like, she definitely incorporated a lot of different styles and made it really work, so perfect dance record, honestly. Plus my vinyl's pink, which I wasn't expecting. Yeah, it's just gorgeous, really. Up next we've got the single Saturday in the Park by Chicago. I heard this song randomly on TikTok. I do love my TikTok, and I just loved the piano hook. It just sounded so cool, and then the song was really positive and cheery, which made me really like it. So I got this off Discogs and it came the next day, which was great. Normally I've never had a Discogs delivery come so fast. And I love the label sleeve. Like, normally label sleeves are a bit boring, but obviously this like 60s, 70s design is just really cool. And what's even cooler is on the back it has the address for where CBS Records used to be. I don't know if it's still there, but on the address the name of the road is the same as my surname, so I think that's, you know, a bit of a little funny thing to see, a bit of a coincidence. But yeah, really cool. I didn't like the B-side, which is Alma Mater, but Saturday in the Park is a very great tune. Up next we have A Fever You Can't Sweat Out by Panic at the Disco. I was feeling kind of nostalgic for the days when I was 15 and I was listening to Panic at the Disco and Fall Out Boy and all that, and I listened to some of these tracks again and I forgot how how much I enjoyed the tracks on this album. Like, I haven't listened to Panic in such a long time, so it was really nice to get their first album and kind of experience it all again. My favourite tracks are But It's Better If You Do, and my absolute favourite track, which is going to be a real mouthful to say because the titles on this album are so long, and my favourite song has the longest song title. There's a good reason these tables are numbered, honey, you just haven't thought of it yet. It's so jazzy. I love the piano and the drums. It's snazzy and jazzy. I don't really know how else to describe it, but it just sounds really cool. It's very swanky, and this album's very theatrical, which I love. You know, it's like half rock, emo-ish, but then make it theatrical and almost circus-like, which I just think is a really cool blend and a very bold thing to do for your debut album. Considering Panic was like 19, 20 years old, just out of high school when they made this album, very impressive. Pretty Odd's still my favourite album by them, but this review can't sweat out, a fantastic debut. Up next we have Ellie Goulding, Lights 10. This was a Record Store Day release for the September drop, which was recently, so I was very excited. I was having a nightmare because my normal record store is closed due to the pandemic, so I travelled to Notting Hill to Rough Trade West to get this album, but it was a real rush because like traffic was just a nightmare and I had other places to be later on. Luckily there was no queue to get into the shop. Everyone probably had come earlier or waited online, and I got my hands on this, and I'm so happy because this is an album that really takes me back to when I was 10, back in 2010. The songs Guns and Horses and Starry Eyed, which are my two favourite tracks from this album and the first two tracks of the album, they just mean so much to me. They just remind me of the last bit of my childhood, and the song Starry Eyed is so magical to me. I feel like I'm somewhere else. I feel like I'm just taken away and I'm in some fantasy fairy-like world. And then Guns N' Horses I think is just, I love it so much. It's like a perfect blend of acoustic mixed with some indie pop, and it's just, I love that song so much. I can never get sick of it. And I think there's like a xylophone or some sort of like twinkly percussion, and it just sounds really, really cool. The first side of the album is my favourite, side one, because it just has all the songs I'm familiar with and I remember listening and enjoying to. But the reason why I waited to get the Record Store 10-year release instead of just the standard vinyl was because side 3 has Ellie Goulding's cover of Your Song, which was the big John Lewis advert of 2010. I really love her rendition of Your Song. It's just so beautiful, so soft, and it's lovely. I think I still prefer the original, but Ellie Goulding's version is very, very good. I wasn't really a fan of the other bonus tracks or the remixes, but that didn't matter much to me. I just wanted Your Song and then the original album, so I'm very happy I have this. I love the album cover, and yeah, I've started to collect records that were part of my childhood, so it's nice to have them. So, yeah. Up next we have Electric Ladyland by Jimi Hendrix. What can I say, this album is so cool. Jimi Hendrix is probably the best guitarist to ever exist. What do I mean probably? He was the best guitarist to ever exist. Like, he just, the techniques he does, the way he makes it sound like a guitar is talking in what, rainy day dream way, or still raining, still dreaming, the way it just sounds like it's having, like it's yelling and having a conversation, or the way it sounds so groovy and so funky, and all the other songs, like Crosstown Traffic is such a great song. Obviously All Along the Watchtower is very well known, but Voodoo Child, oh my god, the percussion in that as well. This album is just a perfect album to just relax and groove to, and really great. Like, I've only listened to this album twice in my whole life, so I think it's getting more enjoyable each time I listen to it. But yeah, my favourite tracks are Crosstown Traffic, Voodoo Child, Slight Return, House Burning Down. Oh, I love House Burning Down. It's just the rhythm in that song is just so good, and All Along the Watchtower is great. But yeah, I'm very happy I had this. I got this the other day, so I haven't listened to it much, but very excited to continue to listen to it. And finally, last one for now. I got this yesterday. We have Led Zeppelin, Houses of the Holy. I'll be honest, I got this album purely because I wanted the Rain song on vinyl. The Rain song I discovered whilst I was on holiday a few months ago. It just came up on my Spotify. I thought the mellotron, like the strings played via mellotron, sounded gorgeous. I just love the chord progression, and turns out the Rain song was made because George Harrison, who is my favourite person ever, was talking to the band, and he said, you know, you should write more ballads. And they wrote this song, and the beginning of the song kind of references the chord progression in Something, which is one of my favourite songs that George Harrison ever wrote. And I think, well, no wonder I like it. It has a few similarities, and plus the whole song, the way it builds. Robert Plant's vocals are amazing. Like they're soft and gentle, but they're also piercing and sexy, and it's just, what a fantastic vocal performance. And like the rest of the album, I mean, I don't really listen to Led Zeppelin, so it's all a bit new to me, but you know, I'm excited to give this album a few more listens and see what other songs I like. And yeah, thank you guys so much for coming. I'm so happy that I've got these records now, and I will see you guys soon. Bye guys!